I don't need to tell you people that, but, right? So it's a way that, it's key, right? That's supposed to be what it does. It's a way that it addresses the needs of its citizens, right? That's the goal. That's the goal. That is the purpose of government, right? Or should be. So when we're analyzing public policy or doing analysis of it, we have to think, how are we kind of looking at it? And, maybe this next part we'll go through a little bit more quickly since you are all government employees, but so meeting the goals and, in what way is it applying certain kinds of theories or methods or understanding, right? So these are, you probably know this, right? Dimensions for analyzing public policies, right? The durability test, right? You've all seen this?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Just this one. This the first time.
Okay, so looking at, how do we understand policy? How do we actually try to analyze them, whether they're working or not? And we want to use these, what we say, dimensions when we're designing them as well. But effects and implementation, the effectiveness, and basically this is an idea from a health perspective, but it could be anything. So what effects does the policy have on the targeted nanny, whatever problem, right? And unintended effects, and this is a really key one, right? And I'll put these slides up, okay? On your, okay, so you don't have to take photos and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so what are the unintended effects of the policy? And that's often something that is overlooked, right? So the knockoff effects. And the equity, what are the effects of this policy on different groups? And that's basically what we're looking at today. We're looking at gender as an example, but different groups of people. What other kinds of groups might there be that you would, as a policy designer or evaluator, have to look at or should look at? So if we go from the idea that policy is neutral, affects everyone equally, applies and affects everyone equally, to, okay, we have at least two different genders, more, right? But, right? So maybe some policies affect men and women or other genders differently. What else? What other things could policies affect differently people who are what? Disabled, yeah. What else?
Or age.
Yes, class, right? Or you're looking at social status. What else?
Old people and
age.
kids.
Yeah. Very much.
Accessibility.
Sorry?
Accessibility.
Accessibility, yeah. So that is something that's within each different group differently, right? How accessible you have. So maybe in line with that, rural and urban, right? Huge differences.
Education.
Sorry?
Education.
Education level, yeah. Culture, religion, ethnicity, all those things. So, but often, if we make these big sweeping kinds of policies, they affect everyone equally, or are thought to be neutral in the way that they're designed. But of course, different groups are going to be affected differently. And even people within, say, a subgroup of a subgroup of a subgroup, they might be more individually affected differently. But, how far can we go down, right? But, we all have different kinds of identities, right? For example, we just said, right, your identity here is what? As a graduate student, right? And then you have another identity of what?
government officer.
National.
Yeah, yeah, you're civil servant, right? So you've got this and the civil servant, and at a certain point they overlap, right? And what else? Yeah, maybe your nationality, your ethnicity, your gender, you know, your many different things, class, whatever, right? The next set, so that's looking at equity. The next set is implementation. So cost, what's the financial cost? And this is always, most things in life come down to cost, right? Right. So we do cost analysis of policies to see whether they work or not, or whether we can implement them or not, right? And is this policy technically feasible? Can we actually get, you know, water out to these destinations, or can we actually move, you know, people in the way that we want to, or whatever, you know? And acceptability, this is really important. Do the relevant stakeholders view the policy as acceptable? Are they going to go on board? Are they going to accept it? Right? So those are really standard kind of